What's going on, YouTube friends and family? Welcome back. So we've reached a pretty big milestone here. AZ Triumphster is at 500 subscribers, and I wanted to say thank you. Thank you to all of you that have taken the time to watch some of the videos, to like them, to subscribe to the channel, share your videos, share these videos with your friends and family, all of those things. I cannot express enough gratitude for helping us all get to this point. And so I figured since we're here, and this family of ours is growing, so to speak, I thought it best to tell you all a little bit about my motorcycle history, build that trust, so you know where my opinions and experience root from. So I'll start this off. Back in 2006, I'd never ridden a motorcycle or quad or dirt bike or really anything of that nature. And I was 22 years old, making decent money, and I always thought bikes were cool. Didn't know anything about them. And I waltzed into my local motorcycle dealership. At that time it was Metro Motorsports, and I kind of didn't really know what I was looking for. I just knew I wanted one of them fast looking motorcycles, and Tunnel Vision kind of just had in mind a Yamaha R6 or a Honda CBR 600RR. And I'm looking at these different bikes, and the sales guy comes up and asks me, what he can help me out with. And I'm pretty sure I asked him something like, which one's faster? And he said to me, and I'll never forget it, he goes, have you ever ridden a motorcycle before? Because I must have had this look about me that was like, I don't know what these things are or what they're capable of. And of course I answered his question as, no, I've never ridden a motorcycle before. And he said to me, well then honestly, man, just pick which one you like looking at and which one ever you think looks better, because they're all fast. There's so much truth to that. So ultimately I picked the 06 Honda CBR 600RR in black, and I had him deliver the bike because I didn't know how to ride the damn thing, and it sat in my living room in my bottom floor apartment for 2 weeks before I could figure out what to do with it. And eventually it made its way to my parents' house, and I started learning how to ride. 6 months later, and one criminal speeding ticket go by, and I finally take the rider course, which was a great thing to do. Get endorsed, get in, all the things necessary, and roll the cameras forward about 3 years. I had already done one track day at Firebird Raceway on my Honda. You learn quick in that setting that you're not as fast as you think you are. And so in 2009, I started hanging out with Sport Bike Club, eventually Prospect and Join. And we trailer the bikes out to MotoGP on July 4th, Laguna Seca. And I do a parade lap on the CBR. And, it was really starstruck being on that track. And then shortly after, we start renting out the track in Deming, New Mexico, called Arroyo Seco, and doing track days out there, learning a lot about the motorcycle, how to be quicker, and take out the straight line factor and start adding in, being quicker in the turns, learning braking points and how to hit the apex the right way, all that kind of cool stuff. So then, looking forward to 2010, I'm dating this girl, and she's got an R6, and she's not too fond of that bike, so we fix it up, sell it, and with that money, she basically buys my CBR from me, and so I sign it over to her, and I'm sure many of you can predict where this is going. And then I take that money and I buy a 2010 Harley Davidson Sportster 48. Thinking I was ready to kind of put the chill pill, put my feet up a little bit and cruise. And shortly after I bought the Harley, then I was looking at building a cafe racer, and the CB750 seemed to be a pretty popular platform for that. A friend of mine was getting rid of his for $1,000, so I bought that. So now in my garage at this high point, we'll call it, I have an 06 CBR 600RR, I've got a 2010 Harley Davidson Sportster 48, and I've got a 1978 Honda CB750. And simultaneously, while we are chopping the frame on the 750, pulling the motor, doing all this stuff, the Honda gets a makeover and gets a full paint job and wheels powder coated, lower at 3 inches, stretch at 6, because it turns out that the girl I'm dating at the time is really aggressive at the drag strip, and she's able to pull 10-second quarter-mile passes out of this thing. No joke. And so I think the other shoe that we were all waiting for to drop was then shortly after this, she takes off with the bike, takes the dog, whatever else. What a surprise, right? And I'm left with the Harley and the CB750, and I decide that with the household income split in half and no real funds for this project bike, I sell it. I sell it exactly for what I paid for it. I sold it in pieces too, and a guy came from across town to get it. In fact, stayed in touch and sent me pictures of it. Turned out really good. Did a much better job than I'm sure I could have at the time. So now I've got an empty garage with just a Harley Sportster 48, and I'm getting a little bored because I've got a garage race stands and metric tools and all this stuff, and I don't have any other bike to get my hands on really consistently. So I trade the Sportster 48 in at Ride Now Peoria. At this point, Metro Motorsports had turned into Ride Now Power Sports Peoria, and traded in the 48 for a 2011 Yamaha FZ8. Great bike, absolutely great bike. And I did a track day at Indy Motorsports Park on that. Went out to Laguna Seca again, but not for MotoGP. This time I actually did a track day at Laguna Seca, which was just an incredible experience. I even put an adjustable link, rear suspension link on the FZ8 so I could lower it and strap the front so I could take it to the drag strip. That bike was just an all-around fun and versatile motorcycle. It handled like a sport bike. It had low-end power for powering out of the turns hard, and it was awesome. Just a great, fun motorcycle. So, I think I'm gonna split this history of motorcycles into 2 videos because we're running up on almost 9 minutes here, and I'm at a good stopping point for part 1 because at this point now, I moved into an apartment, I have a garage, and I've got a 2011 Yamaha FZ8, and it's 2013, January, and my son is born. And I don't know what it is, and people talk about this. I don't know how it happened because I swore it never would, but a switch flipped, and I said, man, I got to get rid of this bike, as I'm holding my infant son thinking, I want to stay alive, I don't want to get hurt. I want to be around for him. So I, for a very, very brief period of time, am motorcyclist. I got rid of the FZ8 and didn't have a motorcycle again. It was very short-lived. So I'm gonna wrap up part 1 of this history with that, and when I come back, I'll fill you guys in on the next. Let's see. So that was 2013. Fill you in on the next 6 years, or the last 6 years of my motorcycling history.